Before I got involved in law enforcement, I had all kinds of crazy jobs that I didn't like and wasn't passionate about. But I definitely like enjoy what I do now. I'm passionate about it. So part of my job is I can honestly say that I've been doing this job for 20 years, and every morning when I wake up and have to put on my uniform, I look forward to going to work. I've been doing traffic investigation for a little over 10 years. So in those 10 years, I've seen a lot of really bad wrecks. And I guess there's one that sticks out in my mind that it was happened on early on a Sunday morning, where a 17-year-old girl was killed in a wreck, and it was her fault. The wreck was her fault. She was going too fast, lost control of her car, and went off the road and struck a telephone pole. But I admired her parents, her mother in particular, for the dignity in which she understood that her daughter's death was caused by her, or pretty much her responsibility. She never ever tried to deflect the responsibility of her daughter's death on anyone else. It's not most people would think that police officers would say they don't like domestics and stuff like that, but domestics are dangerous because of the emotion involved and the people you're dealing with, and usually they're calling you after something's come to a head, and it's usually come to a head over a matter of several years, and there's no way I can fix their problem in the few minutes I'm going to spend with them. It's not that kind of call that I hate them. I've never really hated dealing with those, because those can be interesting to deal with and interesting to try to reach resolution, for help people reach resolution. But it's the frivolous stuff that the police should never be called for in the first place. Like when we get called to a dog bite, they should be calling Humane Society, for instance, instead of police. I'm not equipped to handle dog bites. So it's the frivolous type calls that seem like it's a huge waste of time and resources. I guess dealing with people, sometimes dealing with folks that it's not a funny issue, but that may be mentally ill. Sometimes it's kind of humorous. You have to look for humor in this job, and you find it sometimes in the weirdest places. But sometimes dealing with people like that you go to their home in the middle of the night and they swear up and down there's someone in their attic, or they have cameras in their house, or people are watching them and stuff like that, trying to at least for the night, for a few moments, a few hours or whatever, trying to calm them down and help them understand that there is no one watching them. There is no. One time I went to a unruly juvenile, and I spent some time talking to this kid. Instead of, I guess, I talked to him in private instead of talking down to him. I talked with him and not really at him. I let him say what he wanted to say and listen to him, and it had more of an effect than I really thought it did, because it was about a week later I saw his parents it just happened to be at a convenience store at the same time they were, down the street from where they lived, and they both saw me and made a beeline for me and walked up to me, shook my hand, hugged me, and said thank you. That I don't know what you said to our kid, but it's changed him. He's going to school, he's doing better, this, that, and the other. So I guess that was when I really thought about it. It's like, well, I guess there are moments in this job where you can kind of ring that bell with somebody by talking to them and have an impact on their life. I didn't know that. I would not have known that if they'd have never seen them at the convenience store. People don't look at law enforcement or people with wear the badge as being human. Like we're almost robotic when we're not. We feel things just like everybody else does. We just have to deal with it, find ways to deal with it differently. And it may be laughing at a bad wreck scene. That may be my way, and another officer's way of dealing with that situation is laughing not at it, but laughing to keep from letting it eat us up, what we're having to look at and deal with.
We're under Shelford Road. It's now northbound on the Shelford Road. Negative, north on 75. Northbound in the southbound lane. No, it's northbound in the southbound lane on the Shelford.